I'm Eleanor Ellie Matthews, 68, a retired school principal from Salt Lake City. 18 months ago, I buried my husband, Henry, my partner of 45 years. I thought grief would be the mountain I couldn't climb. I was wrong. 2 months after his funeral, Henry's lawyer, Grace Lambert, slid a folder across her mahogany desk and said gently, "He left you full control of everything company, assets, investments, and properties in Utah and Colorado. The estate is valued around $53 million. For a moment, the room tilted. We'd lived simply one car, a drafty old house, no show. Henry always said, "Money's a tool, Ellie. Wave it around and you invite the wrong kind of attention." I went home stunned, sat in his cedar-scented study beneath our wedding photo, and asked the air, "Why didn't you tell me?" A memory answered, "Years ago, when our son Evan was born, Henry said, 'I'm building something to outlast us, but I don't want Evan to feel entitled. He needs to earn his life, not inherit it.' So when Grace asked if I wanted to tell Evan, I said, 'Not yet. Let him keep seeing me as mom, not a vault.' I didn't know it then, but silence would protect more than dollars. It would protect my son." 6 months after the funeral, Evan smiled again. He'd met someone, Ava Sinclair, 29, pharmaceutical sales, from Denver. "She's different," he said, bright with hope. When Ava swept into my living room for the first time, long auburn hair, diamond studs, a smile a shade too practiced, she called my house quaint and asked casual questions that all curved toward money. "Your father owned a construction company, right? Must have been profitable." I answered simply, "Mountain Ridge Builders. He worked hard." She nodded, eyes taking the measure of the room like a broker inspecting inventory. During dinner, she disappeared for 20 minutes. Later, I found my bedroom door ajar. Nothing missing, but something felt move the air, perhaps. In the weeks that followed, Ava called often to get closer, and somehow we always landed on investments, property, security. I told my old friend Marjorie I was uneasy. "Trust your gut," she said. "If she's counting your money before she knows your birthday, it's not love. Keep your fortune to yourself." 4 months after they met, Evan walked in grinning. "We're engaged." The ring flashed like a blade. At dinner, he explained they'd booked Aspen Ridge Resort, one of Utah's most expensive venues. "A once-in-a-lifetime wedding," Ava said, as if she were pitching an IPO. The guest list ballooned. Orchids arrived from Thailand. A celebrity photographer was hired. She brought me a spreadsheet. Just under $85,000. "We were hoping you could contribute. After all, family." I offered $25,000 generous, bounded. Her smile stuttered. "Only 25? Evan shifted, embarrassed. "Mom, this is our only wedding." "Your father believed in living within your means," I said. "Use it wisely." The mask slipped in her eyes for a heartbeat ice, behind glass, and then she texted 2 weeks later, "We found ways to cover the rest. See you at the rehearsal." The wedding day was a magazine spread chandeliers over a mountain terrace, white roses marching in ranks. Evan looked handsome but tight, a flicker of doubt where joy should live. During her toast, Ava raised a crystal flute and said she was blessed to join a family with strength, love, and stability, especially financial stability. Laughter. Evan flushed. I stepped onto the terrace for air and heard her maid of honor ask, "Are you sure she'll go through with it?" Ava replied, cool as steel, "Once we're back from Maui, I'll make her." 5 days later, a black Mercedes purred into my driveway. Ava stepped out in a white suit, sunglasses, and a smile that never reached the eyes. Beside her, a man with a briefcase. Colin Hart, our family financial advisor. Our family. We'd barely cleared the wedding cake. Inside, he clicked open the case and said, "We understand you control an estate of approximately $53 million. Only Grace and my advisor Thomas knew that figure. "How did you learn that?" I asked. Ava crossed her legs. "Evan found old documents. Naturally, we discussed generational wealth." Colin continued, "It's prudent and fair to transfer $10 million to Evan and his wife, plus a modest stipend of $30,000 a month. And if I decline?" Ava's smile sharpened. "Then we consider legal avenues. Challenge the will, or argue you're unfit to manage the estate at your age." "You're threatening me in my home," I said. "I'm protecting what's ours." When the door shut behind them, I shook with rage, not fear. I called Grace. "Document everything," she said. "No more conversations without a plan." The next morning, the doorbell rang. I braced for the Mercedes, but it was Evan, rumpled and rattled. "Can I come in?" He should have been in Maui. He sank into a chair. "Ava said she had a work emergency. We flew back early. She's distant. Something's wrong." "Something has been wrong," I said, and told him about Colin, the demand, the threats. He went pale. 2 days into the honeymoon, I caught her going through my laptop, Dad's records. Later, I overheard her saying something about hidden assets and unclaimed shares. He scrolled his phone and handed it to me. Text to someone named Carla. Got him to propose, push for house money after the honeymoon. He's clueless. Once married, half is ours. Family fortune, $153 million. She had the numbers wrong, but the intent right. "This isn't your fault," I said. "She planned this." He covered his face. "I thought she loved me." "There's no shame in love," I said, "only in using it as a weapon." We called Grace. That night, Rain stitched the windows while we set a trap made of honesty. Evan asked Ava to come over to clear the air about family finances. She arrived in perfume and heels, smile set to conquer. The smile faltered when she saw Grace. Evan slid his phone across the table. "Explain." Her color drained, then hardened. "Fake." Evan's voice was steady. "They're from your number, and the security camera caught you and your advisor threatening my mother." Grace placed a folder on the table. "You're being served. We'll seek an annulment for fraud and coercion." Ava laughed, brittle as glass. "You can't be serious. She's manipulating you to keep her millions. Without me, you'll be nothing." Evan didn't blink. "I'd rather be broke than married to someone who treats love like a business deal." "All contact ceases now," Grace said. "You'll hear from the court within a week." Ava snatched her handbag. "You'll regret this. Secrets don't stay buried." Then she was gone into the rain. It wasn't over, but the shape of it had changed. 6 weeks later, with texts, attempted bank inquiries, and the recorded threats, the court annulled the marriage. On paper, it had never existed. In life, it left wreckage. Evan moved like a shadow for a while, work, home, pacing the guest room at night. One evening, on the back porch, he stared at the rose bushes Henry had taught him to plant. "She almost took everything," he said. "Not just the money, me." "She didn't take anything that matters," I said. "You found the truth before she could destroy you. That's strength." He nodded. "Dad would have seen through her. He would have been proud you saw through her yourself." In the months after, pain didn't vanish. It rerouted. Evan poured himself into teaching, writing about trust and betrayal. The university promoted him. One day, he brought me a folder. "When the time comes, I want to use part of Dad's legacy for something good," he said, showing me a scholarship proposal for first-generation students in Henry's name. "Dad built homes. I want to build futures." I cried and said the only thing that fit: "You're becoming exactly the man he hoped you'd be." As for me, I managed the estate quietly with Thomas. Money moved like water to places that grew life: small business grants for local craftsmen, trade scholarships for single mothers. Each thank you letter sounded like Henry. Let the money work for people who still believe in work. A year after the annulment, Evan brought someone new to dinner. Clara, an art teacher with kind eyes and paint under her nails. She asked about Henry's life, not his balance sheet. She loved the roses. Evan smiled, easy and unguarded, for the first time in a long while. "People say money changes you. Maybe. I think it reveals you." Henry's quiet fortune revealed his integrity. Ava's hunger revealed her design. Evan's recovery revealed his character. Sitting in Henry's old chair that night, I spoke the lesson out loud, no longer to summon his strength, but to claim my own. True wealth isn't dollars. It's the courage to protect what money can't buy: love, integrity, family. And we still had all of that